What going on? What going on? What going on? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's fine. Hope everybody well on this Friday afternoon. Is what it is. Um, Give me a minute. I'm playing 2K, so hold up. Um, I want to talk about this quarter zip trend that's going on right now. I was gonna talk about this earlier in the week because my son and his partner they've been they've been asking me do I have quarter zips, and you know what I'm saying, they asked me do I got quarter zips in my closet, and I'm like, yeah, I got quarter zips in my closet, bro. I mean, I got a couple of them. They polo, but I got a couple of quarter zips. So as everybody else, I went to TikTok a couple days ago after my son and their partner was saying something about him. And I saw a couple of videos about the quarter zips and how they don't do nicotine no more. They ain't drinking Arizona. They ain't eating processed food. They trying to be more legit now. That right there, and it sound good. It sound real good. But this me, this me, how I look at what's going on. Me and my partners, we were rocking quarter zips and button downs and peacoats and loafers in the late '90s, early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if you've been if you've been over here listening to my content, I've been talking about growth. And what we were doing was what we always did. We was always still the same individuals, regardless of what we had on. Regardless of what we had on, because we could be outside wearing t-shirt, jeans, and tennis shoes. We can be running, play football, basketball, just hanging out, whatever the case may be. And then we'll go in the house and change clothes, put the polo on, the Nautica, the Tommy, the Jabos. You know, we'll go get clean and all that right there. And we were still looked at as the same individuals, whether we was in t-shirts or jeans or in dress clothes. You know what I'm saying? And it was the truth. We were still the same individual. We were still doing our thing. We were still talking to girls. We were doing everything that we were doing regardless of what we were wearing. You know what I'm saying? And by me looking at what's the new trend or whatever the case may be, it put me in the mind of when Carmelo Anthony, his situation. And when everybody was sitting there talking about the affluent neighborhood he from, his GPA, his status as a football player, and I guess he was on the track team. If I know he played football, I don't know if he ran track or not. But they was talking about all the good things that he had going on with his whole situation. And I was one of the few individuals, I was like, that's the perfect alibi for me to get away with doing the dumb stuff. That'd be my perfect alibi to get away with doing crime. Is to mask it under I'm a good student. I'm a good individual. Look at where I come from. Look at how I dress. Look at how I talk. How could you put me? How could you stereotype me as being this individual that's negative when I got so much positive going on. And I was like, that's the camouflage. That's the outer shell. Cause you are what you are regardless of what your outside shell say. So when I'm hearing this quarter zip situation, going on, I'm thinking the same thing like I was thinking about the Carmelo Anthony situation. And the same way me and my partners grew up was that I could look one way and still be with the shit. So I'm hearing a lot of people, propping it up, and it sounds good. Don't get it wrong. Don't get what I'm saying twisted. Like I don't like it. Cause I tell my son and I tell my son partners is that hey, you need to have different clothes in your wardrobe for different situations. You know what I'm saying? Cause my son, he like wearing his joggers, he like wearing his t-shirt, his graphic tees, his joggers, he like wearing his J's, his Crocs. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no professional clothes. Like he's taking business classes, he's trying to be in finance and all that right. And I told him, it's like when you get out of college and you start going to work at these jobs or whatever the case may be, I said you're gonna have to dress up according to the job. So I've been telling my son he need to add different accessories and different styles of clothes to his wardrobe for different situations and different functions and all that right there. So I do salute it. Don't get it twisted like I don't salute it. But at the same time, I'm also one of them individuals that did it and knew that I was still with it while doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because you are what you are anyway, regardless of what you're wearing. So the perception of me wearing a quarter zip, the perception of me wearing a button up. Cause remember, not too long ago, Jay-Z was telling y'all to wear button ups. How they go? How they go? So just off the simple fact of how I came up with my partners in the late 90s and the early 2000s, we were rocking that. We were doing it. And the perception is I don't look like the typical YN. I don't look like the typical thug. I prepped out. I'm prepped out. I'm the quarter zip, the button ups, the corduroys, the boots, the loafers, the frames. We did all that already. And like I said, my mama and my partner's mamas and the little girls in our neighborhood, they was all like, y'all still the same dudes, regardless of what y'all wearing. So as I'm looking at these trends, I see what's going on. And going along with the content I'm pushing out, I'm saying that it looks good. It looks good that you're drinking your little matcha or your green tea or whatever. You got your little quarter zip on, wearing a tie, got your little slacks on, and all that good shit right there. It look good. Look more clean, look more professional. It look good. But where your mentality at? What's your mindset on? That's what I'm looking at. Cause you can sit up here and dress however you want to dress, but how is you functioning? What's your mentality? Are you still on that YN shit? Are you still on it? Because again, you are what you are anyway. Just because you putting on some nice clothes don't stop you from being a YN. It just changed the perception of what people might think about you. It just changed the perception of what people think about you being a YN. But you still a YN. You still a YN. Now, if you doing what you doing because this is you and you're evolving into something different, and you don't care what anybody say about your growth, then fine, cool, continue to grow. I don't have a problem with growth. That's what we do over here. We talk about growth. If you're doing all this to for your self-esteem, for your self-image, because you want people to validate you. I talk about that a lot, is the validation process, is that a lot of guys be searching for people to validate them. And if they can't get no validation, they get emotional and they get predictable and then they become controllable. So let's say you're doing it for validation as a YN, as a young guy, 25 or younger. You're doing it for validation. So you're literally trying to put on this outfit, this shell or whatever the case may be. You literally putting on these clothes so people can validate you for being what? Better than what you are? Before saying you're a man? Because you've been hearing for the past 10, 15 years is that because of how you act and how you dress, you don't get the respect you feel like you deserve. So now you want to switch it up to get the respect you feel like you deserve. But what if you still don't get the respect? Then what? What if you going through all these changes for respect, for validation, for attention, and you still don't get it? Then what? How are you? How are you as a man, as a young man, going to respond if you still don't get the attention and the validation? How you gonna respond? Because like I said, if this is what you really want to do it. Regardless of what happens, regardless of what anybody say about what you're doing, if this is something you really want to do, then do it. And have fun doing it. Don't bend, don't break, don't fold for nobody. You feel what I'm saying? Go on, do it. If this is what you really want to do. But again, if you're doing all this for attention and validation, what if you don't get it? Are you gonna go back to wearing the Nike Techs and the shiesty mask, and you going back from, stop drinking your green tea or your cafe macchiato, whatever, I don't know, and go back to drinking Casamigos? What you gonna do if you don't get it? That's one thing I would like that. What you gonna do if you don't get the validation, the attention? You feel what I'm saying? Another part of this shit is in business settings. Or professional settings. Is you doing all this because you feel like that's gonna help you advance in the job? You feel like it's gonna help you advance in a company or something? Man, my bad. Folks calling. But again, you thinking you finna dress a certain type of way to move up a corporate ladder that you really don't want to be in anyway. You feel what I'm saying? Is that what you doing it for? So somebody to try to give you a little raise, a little promotion, or whatever the case may be. So you gonna try to dress a certain type of way to get it. What if you don't get it? You gonna quit your job? You gonna start being rebellious? You gonna start missing days of work? You gonna start coming late? You gonna start leaving work early? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Or my favorite reason why I think y'all doing it because you think it'll better your options with women. You think by dressing a certain, you think by putting on these quarter zips and ties and loafers that you'll actually have a better chances with women. But again, just like in society and just like with business, what if you don't get the women? What you gonna do? See, I don't have a problem with guys doing it if that's really them. I have a problem with guys doing it trying to get something else. That's why I had a problem with it. You know, you have a lot of guys and you'll have a lot of women say, oh, give them a chance, give them a chance, give them a chance. And I'm open to giving them a chance. Because mind you, I do have a son that's around the same age. And I tell him to, add pieces to his wardrobe for different occasions and different situations. So I am open. It's just that from my own anecdotal experiences as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, that were putting on quarter zips and button ups and collar shirts and corduroys and boots and glasses and smell goods and all that right there. Doing all that, I still had mischief up my sleeve. I was still with the shit. That's all I'm really looking at is this really you or is this a cover up from something you trying to hide? That's what I'm really looking at as an individual. Is this you or is this something you're trying to cover or use to cover up something? And I could be wrong, but again, I might not be. I might not be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. But I done seen this all before. I done seen this all before. And it wouldn't surprise me is that somebody get caught up doing something they ain't got no business doing. And they got on some Stacey Adams and a quarter zip. Told the whole 40. And Justin did something they ain't got no business doing. I just need y'all to pay attention. Just pay attention. It sound good until something happens. All it takes is them, one of these YNs not to get what they think they're going to get by putting on these clothes, and you're going to see the crash. You're going to see it. And if it never comes, I hope it never comes. But you're going to see it. And when you see it, you're going to like, Big Dog said it. That's all. But anyway, I'm finna get back to doing what I was doing. I just had to come up here for a hot minute. Nothing too much. I ain't finna hold a whole press conference talking about this. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that big. I have enough fun with my son. I have enough fun with my son, his partner talking about this quarter zip shit. You know what I'm saying? I have enough fun with them talking about that quarter zip shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, man, you are what you are, regardless of what you put on. You are what you are. You gotta change your mindset. You gotta change your mentality. I mean, yeah, it might look clean and folks might take you more serious or whatever the case may be. But if you still a thug, you still a thug. If you still a thug, you still a thug. And that was something I was told not too long ago by my own wife. It was like, I still have a street mentality, even though I'm damn near 50. I'm 46. And I wear quarter zips. And I wear hoodies. Matter of fact, I got a Jordan hoodie on right now. I got a Jordan hoodie on right now. And I'm a granddaddy. And I'm still thinking like I think. The only difference is I don't move like that no more. I still think like that. I still had shit up my sleeve. It's just that I know how to do it as a grown man now instead of a little boy, instead of a YN. That's the only difference now. We're talking about YNs trying to be grown or trying to be professional when they ain't did nothing yet to be professional. A lot of people like it's a trend. It might be a little trolling, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people like, oh, I like it, I like it, I like it. I like it too. Don't get it twisted. I like it too. I just know it's some more shit up their sleeve than just putting on quarter zips. Like I said, when has that ever stopped you from being a YN? When has your clothes ever stopped you from being a thug, a gangster, a YN? When have they stopped you? When have your grades stopped you from being with the shit? When have your money stopped you from being with the shit? When has anything in life stopped you from doing what the hell you want to do? Only thing that has stopped you is really you and how you look at things, your morals, your ethics. That's the only thing that stopped you from doing some of the things you do. And if you ain't got no ethics, if you ain't got no morals, if you ain't got no values or whatever the case may be, there ain't nothing gonna stop you. If you're doing everything you're doing just for somebody to say you look nice, and that perks you up, and now they able to just get you to move how they want you to move because they done told you look nice, then you was, it is what it is. Just don't be surprised when they use and abuse you by calling telling you look nice. You know what I'm saying? So part of me hope this trend is real and that, we can finally be better individuals. Part of me is like, it's just the status quo and things gonna stay the same. They just put on a new outfit. We'll see we'll see how 2026 roll. If this really something that's gonna stand the test of time or it's just another TikTok trend. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let y'all have it. Like I said, this ain't nothing major. Just something I had to talk about right fast. Just get it out there. I'll holler at y'all.